There is now an arrest warrant out for a local police officer who is facing criminal charges.
A grand jury indicted a Ripley officer on charges of reckless homicide, failure to render aid, and leaving the scene of an accident. Our David Winters spent the day digging deeper into these charges. And David, I understand this officer is not yet even in custody, correct?
Yeah, that is correct, Kyle. He is not. Officer Caleb Savage will now either be arrested or more likely he will arrange to surrender to authorities as soon as this evening. These charges all stem from a pursuit back in March that ended with a young man crashing and dying. We obtained these photos from the sheriff's crash report.
And there's a vehicle on fire in the creek. I can't get down to it. The bank is too steep.
The 911 call made at 5:06 a.m. The sheriff's report showed 18 minutes earlier at 4:48, Mason County issued a be on the lookout for a Dodge Charger pursued by the Ripley, Ohio police. That Ripley officer was Caleb Savage, seen here in a Facebook post a year earlier being commissioned as an officer. In an interview with the Kentucky deputy, Officer Savage said he had been called to a report of a blue Dodge Charger that had been involved in a hit and run in Aberdeen. He pursued the vehicle non-emergent into Kentucky. He activated his lights and siren at that time. He recalled seeing the vehicle's taillights go around a curve. It was the last time that he would observe the vehicle. So Officer Savage advised that he terminated the pursuit. A passerby on that windy two-lane road would see fire and call 911.
And I don't know if anybody's in it or not. I can't see, and the bank's steep, and I don't have very good light.
There was a man in the car. It was 22-year-old Ryan Mitchell, now a memorial left on the tree where he died.
He was a good brother, and he was a good friend to all his friends. You know, he was loyal, a loyal person. He was a good son.
And a Mason County grand jury says there's enough evidence to show Officer Savage caused Mitchell's death. But a press release issued today by the Ripley Police Department says its own internal investigation shows that Officer Savage acted within the guidelines of the pursuit policy. But Don Pumphrey, who speaks nationally on cross-jurisdictional pursuits, says an officer crossing state lines for a minor offense would be unusual.
Wouldn't it usually require some kind of a major crime to have occurred before an officer would cross state lines and pursue a suspect?
The answer to your question is yes. There would have to be some major crime, or the individual would have to be a suspect of a murder or a rape or some violent crime of violence or an escapee.
But Ryan Mitchell was none of those things. Now he's dead, and a now former police officer is accused of causing that death. Yeah, now former officer, because Savage resigned on Friday. His bond is set at $10,000. Kyle?
All right, David Winter leading us off tonight. David, thank you so much. Caleb Savage faces 15 years in prison. If convicted on all of those charges, he will likely be arraigned on June 9th.